same, but the fact they were different colors implied that maybe there was a difference.
So is it not just north and south?
Yeah.
But the reason they were different is because they're in different water districts. But we weren't dealing with water districts, we're dealing with trash pickup.
Well, and they're also color-coded for sections, so red, or let's say yellow, for instance, is one route. Let's say, green, right, 3 and 4, I don't remember exactly which.
But for the citizens understanding when to put their trash out, like, that's not relevant.
Yeah, and that's why we put that color code on the side, and then we attached all the street.
Yeah,
names
no, that
with
was
dates.
good, but it was just, there was two things to communicate, first and third, and second and fourth.
Right.
But we did it in 4 pieces.
Right.
And I just thought it added a little bit.
And that's, basically the map that we ran off of was the map that our sanitation drivers use for their sections. So we just kind of.
But I think the general rule, if you're Monday, Thursday, 1 and 3, Tuesday, Friday, second and fourth, people get that.
Correct.
And then no pickup
That's
if
all
there's a
they have to
fifth
do.
Wednesday in a month.
Correct.
Unless y'all are behind and y'all need that day.
And if there's a storm, a lot of trees are taken down, y'all.
Then we're all hands on deck.
All
Just
hands.
we're rush picked up.
So one of my other questions with us doing this, the other day I was really surprised that we've invested in this big claw truck or whatever and had a good amount of brush out there, and I was shocked to look up and see all these people lifting it by hand. My understanding is that one truck was on one side of the boulevard and the other truck, so will that fix that, where now the claw truck will be picking up all the bulk?
Generally is what we do, is what the drivers do. The sanitation drivers will go run their routes like normal, and they'll pick up the smaller stuff, and they communicate with the grapple truck driver to pick up the bigger brush piles, bulk piles. So if they can grab it by hand, we'll pick it up and load it. Get it out of here.
But you're using the grapple truck mainly for brush.
Oh, yes.
And that's what I'm saying, I had a
Oh, yeah.
large brush pile, and they were all picking it up by hand on the regular truck.
And sometimes with the guys, is what they'll do, Mondays and Thursdays are their slower trash route days, and they'll go by those bigger piles and grab a couple handfuls and keep on moving, just to try to.
Whatever works for y'all, but, if I know, it might make a difference of when I drag it to the front yard instead of leaving it in the backyard, because that's what I did with this big pile of brush. I cut it and it stayed back there until, so everybody didn't have to look. And it's still there, by the way, so it's going on 3 weeks.
Oh, no.
In your front?
And I guess, are you aware of the big
They get mine in the house.
brush on the north end of Frontier between Colson and Bonneville?
We have been working with that resident.
Oh, are there issues?
Yeah, there was an issue there.
I mean, there was a ton of them.
They sold the house and
Oh, okay,
there was
Really?
some confusion there.
okay. It's just
Supposedly-
been there a while, and it's,
Supposedly, before I went on vacation, it was supposed to have been worked out, and I will double check on that one.
okay.
It was
A couple of
good
days ago, it was all still there.
Yeah, because, it was, I think we invoiced them for like $800. So.
All right, are we ready? Are you satisfied?
Wasn't my concern.
Well, I understand, and I
Tell them we
appreciate,
discussed it, and we're gonna,
and I appreciate you bringing it up, and like I say, I think there's valid points on both sides of this one. Let's move on then to number 13, discussion or action
And
on.
we're taking no action on that.
Correct. We're leaving everything as is.
Hallelujah.
We'll go ahead and write it up just in case, then number 13, discussion and or action on zoning text amendments and putting permitted use of C2 commercial zoning in section 20.17 parking service.
Before I do all of this and get ready for the public hearing, after we've had our workshop the other night, I have a lady that has talked to me about building a brand new building for a body shop next to, next to Mitch. And before we do it, right now, the way it's written, we're keeping it in there about automotive repairs, and that's what the
and so what she's talking about is the piece of property that I've been trying to keep a tire store out of and want to put a paint and body shop in.
Yeah. So if y'all,
And I
y'all
thought
wish
we-
to keep it that way, I'll just tell her and move on.
Well, I misunderstood. I thought we decided to change it to allow.
No, automotive repairs,
There was so much waffling going on, it was
Yes.
hard to keep score.
Charles was gonna fight the battle and then he dropped it.
yeah.
What,
So was that the only thing that we left the way it was? Didn't we pull everything? I thought everything basically got reversed that we did before.
We allowed stuff to be.
That
put
and
out.
the laundromats is the two things I've got that y'all
I
want
would like to,
prohibited.
I would just say personally that, especially that plot of land, I would like to see it not be
absolutely.
a paint and body shop.
And-
That's
and
one of the
what
few
if it
places
serviced
somebody
the
could
niche
bring in
as
a
well?
restaurant or
Exactly.
or something.
And does niche really want to be tucked behind an
He's the
auto?
one selling it.
These ones
Well,
selling it.
So,
So
yeah.
he has something to gain.
Well,
But Niche bought that property, just so you'll know, to put in a tire store. And I'm hoping that, and I'm trying a little bit to kind of promote that property because it's unique shape. That there's twice as much to it, or more than that. 2/3 of it is behind Niche. Most people see that for sale sign, they think it's just that property in front of, or beside the Lions Club. It's actually quite a bit bigger than that, so. And,
Marvin, on just roughly go over the things that are restricted, based on your understanding, would continue to be vape shops, right?
Yes,
That continues to stay.
that continues to stay.
Pawn shops,
Yeah, that continues
continues.
to stay.
I don't know about, were we specific about title loans?
but we couldn't, I think they're
Yeah,
regulated.
that's still that in there that it's not,
That it's okay or not?
that it's not.
No,
No, I thought you
okay.
said they were protected like pawn shops.
And then.
Yeah, but as long as we have a district, and we do.
Right. And then, based on your guidance, the automobile and laundry.
Right.
Is there others, or is that pretty much the main?
That's pretty well, all the rest of it went back in, the car wash went back in,
Okay.
and the, what else was it that went back in? Besides the car wash, there was something else.
Allowing them to put stuff out front.
Oh, yeah, the outdoor
And
store.
the used
And then,
clothing or used, items was either
Yeah, yeah.
opened up or increased.
50%, yeah, okay.
And that's still something that was confusing from the first time around, where you're, like I understood before, was basically automobile repair and tire stores, and then that translated, I thought, later to car washes and upholstery shops and all that, and so.
Yeah, the car washes were, but they were separate.
I never knew that was in there, so I missed that when we
Yeah,
were
the car
adding.
washes go back in as being allowed.
So an automobile upholstery shop, is that allowed?
If you're gonna consider that an automotive repair, no.
I mean,
That's
you
gonna
know,
be a
we've already
problem.
allowed one in there while that was in place.
Because the council told me not to enforce anything till we got this settled. It was already there, is what I'm saying,
Before we finalized it.
yeah, before we finalized it. We haven't done a CO on it. We still haven't done a CO on it.
Where is this one? Right, are you talking about the
Really?
one outside
About
of?
Wale?
Why not? I mean,
We've done a temporary CO.
Now I'm talking about the one on River Oaks Boulevard. I'm
Right
not
out
talking
front of
about
Auto
the, not talking about.
Yeah,
the-
well, we permitted that because we didn't think it was auto repair. You did.
No, I'm just saying it needs to be clarified, huh?
Talking about,
The old car wash, the hand car wash.
Yes.
That they turned into an auto repair shop.
So, well, and actually next door to that, another one moved in, it's upholstery, and so I brought to his attention, you know, what they're doing is fine, but they need to be in the back, but yet every one of them is in the front, and now there's, so what, 6 spaces, and they're filled, if you go by there right now, they're like 6.
Where you talking about you did?
Oh, that's down at the old, gas station. We know it as Bud Ball's old place, but,
The Chevron,
yeah, y'all know it as Chevron.
so there was lots of problems, like they bought a building, there's an existing